I want you to look at this chart. Notice in this chart, you'll see that they show various occupations. And in these occupations, they show the differences between men and women. And some fields are highly dominated male fields, and some fields are not. I want you to tell me, what do you think? Do you feel that we have advanced, compared to even think about 1960s? Think about 1800s. In just U.S. history, not referring to any world history, but in just U.S. history, how things have changed and how things have grown. Also, what are some other factors that might cause these fields to be more male-dominated? When we look at this, what are some other reasonings that might cause this to happen? So, with that being said, we're going to talk about the concept here of a male-dominant world, and in a lot of cases, it is an area where we are dominated by males. We talked about, in general, in the economy, most jobs that women participate in do not count towards gross national income in most countries. In lower income countries, women do most of the cultivation and harvest in farms, along with working at home. And obviously, this isn't counted as the workforce. Also, what about women who stay home? What about at-home moms, stay-at-home moms? I mean, those are jobs that are just as important. Raising your children and taking care of them, but again, does that count toward the overall? So when we look at all the overall stats and what's going on, well, sometimes women get a bad draw of things. Now, GEM is a value derived from a number of statistics measuring women's access to political and economic decision making. Info comes from the United Nations reports, and if we look at this stat. Excuse me. Sorry, this is the report I was looking for. Look at the stat. Using these GEM ratings, you'll see that in Iceland, women and men are pretty equal. If you keep scrolling down, it takes a little bit before you see the United States. And they come in at about 28. That's 74% difference. Just showing the different gender gaps. But let's keep scrolling down. Notice as we get further down, you start to see more Middle Eastern countries. All the way down to Yemen at 48%. Notice some of the countries that are here as you start to see in the inequities that are found in these various countries. Now, in specific, it's not always the same. In some cases, it's worse. Some cases, it's better. But in general, in sub-Saharan African, more women than men in most sub-Saharan African countries. Women handle farm, such as they produce 70% of the food in the region and most of the household income. So in this case, obviously, it's a little different. Husbands move to the cities and find factory and mining jobs. On occasion, the men will marry again in the city. So sometimes they'll have two jobs. But notice women have a little bit more roles here in the society. On the other hand, we can go quite differently here. Indian women are killed because of their parents did not pay the amount of agreed upon to the groom's parents. This is a dowry. And literally, you can see there's been multiple deaths based on these arranged marriages. Literally, women have been married, at younger ages constantly. And you'll see this. So again, obviously, you can tell that women aren't valued as much there than these cultures. As a matter of fact, look at India. You can see the huge difference between the male population and the female population. Now, these are some great videos to watch. We're not going to watch them now, but I mean, seriously, you'll see how some different inequities in the world have. But here's my second question to you. In the United States, what is the difference between women and men in the United States? Are jobs the same? Do women get paid more or less? Obviously, we saw the chart that they get paid less. Why is it? Is it just because of inequities? I want you to tell me when I come to school tomorrow, what are some of the different reasons why women are paid less than men? And I want you to be able to think about that as we go through.